20 years ago today, Hurricane Charley made landfall in Charlotte County, barreling up the Peace River and inland. It was a day that no one who lived here will ever forget, a day that cost people $10 billion to rebuild, a day where 4 people died in Charlotte County and hundreds of thousands of people were displaced from their homes. Of course, this storm originally was predicted to go up to Tampa, but it made that curve, and NBC2's meteorologist predicted it. Hi, I'm so glad you came.
Gosh. So good to see you.
Yeah. Oh my God.
I asked my friend and retired NBC2 chief meteorologist Robert Van Winkle to meet me at the Charlotte County Library to take a trip down memory lane.
When you called me, I thought to myself, okay, I'd be happy to help out. And then it really kind of hit me, 20 years. I mean, it's so vivid still in my memory that I'm thinking, how is it possible that that much time has gone by?
Our message to you now is urgency and safety.
20 years ago today, Robert and Jim made the dramatic call that Charley was not going north to Tampa, but would make landfall in southwest Florida. Seeing these old newspaper articles on display brings back a flood of memories.
Well, you know, one of the biggest lessons we learned in Charley 20 years ago was that a hurricane is likely not going to be right on that center line. And at this time in 2004, this was the forecast cone, and everybody was pretty much thinking, well, it's just going to stay right there and it's supposed to go to Tampa.
Just like another hurricane we all know so well, Ian.
Tampa's right there, and we're only right there. We're only, 70, 80 miles down the coast at the most. So right about this point, Jim Reif and I started tracking the eye of Charley with the circles around the eye, and it looked like it was veering off of the track. Charley was never outside of the forecast, but it was off the center line, and that made all the difference. And that's one of the big lessons, was never focus on that center line, focus on the cone, because that's usually where the storm's going to end up.
A valuable lesson with an eerie foreshadowing of a future hurricane.
The interesting thing that I remember also, Jim Reif and I were saying, if Charley had been slower, stronger, and a bigger eye, it would create 15 feet of storm surge on Fort Myers Beach. It would destroy Sanibel. Charley could have been Ian very easily, but every hurricane's different.
That storm, named Ian, would come 18 years later.
These storms really are touchstones in lives, and we learn something after every single one.
And the lesson learned as we head into the peak of hurricane season is that no storm is the same, and you just have to pay attention to that cone of concern. Not look at the straight line, but what is the area it's coming to, and prepare for that. Always prepare for the worst. And I think looking back over 20 years, being here for that storm then, and then being here for Hurricane Ian, that's the lesson. Always be prepared. And we're hoping that we can help our viewers do this all week.